stop arguing about who's right.
Yeah.
That's the title of the chapter.
And explore each other's stories.
And explore each other's stories. Why do we always think the other person is the problem? And we should listen to understand. So when we listen to understand the other person's side of the story, it helps us understand their rationale. So I'll give an example from the book. Karen was submitting her paperwork late because she was overwhelmed with clients. And her boss, Trevor, told her that she needs to submit her work on time, but nothing changed. So he assumed, and also the other thing it says, don't assume intentions.
Yes.
So he assumed her intentions were to like just annoy him or whatever he assumed. But once he understood why Karen submitted her work late, he appreciated her for her work. He understood, oh, you're submitting your work late because you're overwhelmed. Now I understand why you're submitting her late. But then he told Karen, when you submit your work late, this is the repercussions it has on me. It means that now I have to do double the amount of work, X, Y, and Z. Since they understood each other's side of the story, she didn't submit her work late. He got it on time. They had a great working relationship. And it was simply, they talk about in the book about having missing information.
Yes.
Both of them had missing information from the other person's side of point of view. Karen didn't know that when she submitted her work late, it created an additional burden.
Knock-on effect.
And Trevor didn't know that Karen was actually a bit overwhelmed. So she was prioritizing other work over his work. So yeah, it was great. And the one of the phrases says, move from certainty, I'm right, to curiosity. Okay, maybe I'm not right. Maybe there's more to the story.
No, I think that's a good example because it's like you said, listen to understand. And again, if the title of the book is Difficult Conversations, not arguments. Do you know what I mean? So it's like an argument is just literally, this is what I think and this is what I think, and we're just going to go back and forth. But the conversation, that's the listening to understand part. So giving that clarity of, and then you get the understanding, and then you kind of take yourself out of it remotely and look and feel, okay, well, this is things from their perspective, and going a little bit into empathy as well, which I spoke about in previous reviews. But so looking at it from their point of view, how that affects them. I think there's a good thing which he spoke about quite a lot. The and stance. I'm sure you would have. So in the and stance is like basically don't choose between two stories, embrace them both. So there's no right or wrong. So in that, Karen brings her work, hands her work in late, and Trevor is overwhelmed. Oh, no, sorry, it then has a knock-on effect on Trevor. So there's no like right or wrong. It's just the and. So basically, it's applying that. There's no like, you're not intentionally handing your work in late so that because you're trying to mess me up, Karen. And Karen's like, you're not putting extra pressure on me because we're just taking each other's stories and understanding it. Yeah. So that's basically what it is. So they kind of referred to that a few times. So again, I think they spoke about as well the right or wrong. So there was an example about with the father was talking to the daughter about stop smoking, and she was, it's like, even though he's right, smoking's bad for your health, and that doesn't really make a difference to whether his daughter's going to stop smoking or not. She's mostly aware of that. So again, the facts sometimes don't even really matter. It's about having that conversation and maybe understanding, so she can understand why her dad wants her to stop smoking, and then obviously he can understand why she started smoking. Yeah. Or then you can apply that to any scenario. The main thing is just obviously talking and listening, and then again listening to understand, not just waiting to speak or trying to find loopholes in what other person's saying. It takes a lot to actually do that because we're not even speaking about emotions. Yeah. Your emotions take over, and then even like again feelings. I mean, he mentioned about like, because normally, and this was quite enlightening for me, because normally if I'm having a conversation that's difficult, I do my best to keep emotion and feelings out of it. But in the book, they obviously say that you should actually mark your feelings or explain your feelings. What did you think about that?
I thought that was good because it helps make it human, I think, when you bring your emotions into it and your feelings into it. And also, from a conversation point of view, you can't argue or you can't disagree with the other person's feelings. So if I say to you, I feel let down by X, Y, and Z, I'm not saying you let me down, Because if I say you let me down, now you're attacked.
Yeah.
No, I didn't let you down.
Yeah.
But if I say, well, I feel let down, what can you respond to that? It was like, wow, actually, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
You can't. So I liked the feelings. Yeah, using the feelings to highlight your perspective or your point of view, because it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also informs the other person.
Yeah.
They might not be aware of it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. Again, with the assumptions, you know, you could just assume that you assume that you're the only one, because you know, I think it says here your assumptions or your conclusions, they always reflect self-interest. So in certain situations, you assume or you conclude that, you know, I'm the only one that's been hurt by this.
Yeah.
Or I'm the only one who's been affected by this, or whatever the situation may be. But when the other person kind of lets you in, and they tell you how it made them feel, or you know, the impact it had on them, you actually now take that, and that's new information that you can have, and that might even change your opinion or change your stance.
Yeah.
Or at least if it doesn't do that, it might just give you a better, wider understanding.
Yeah.